What do you think that is the most important thing to try to take away from Atlanta, particularly early in this game tonight?
Just coming out with that same sense of urgency we had in Chicago. Obviously, um, both teams are kind of similar in the way they play and fast-paced, getting stops and trying to run in transition. So, just having that sense of urgency to continue to get back on defense, and then our focus and lack of our attention to detail for our game plan.
Is that as simple as having that same defensive disposition, or does that have to be coupled with the way that you guys started offensively too? Because it felt like it was, simpatico.
I think the defense, really starts us off, and then we can kind of play from there. Our offense will take care of itself. I think our defense has to come out and really, show some, fight in the start of the game.
What's this play-in ride been like compared to the other two? I mean, the having to win two, the no breathing room. Has it felt the same, or has it been sort of a little tighter and a little sort of like more concerning?
It's been similar. Obviously playing in the play-in is the play-in. I don't think a 10 seeds ever went to the playoffs, so that's our first. We could be the first team to do that, so that's kind of on our mind. So we're definitely hungry and excited for this opportunity.
How much has that experience of the play helped in this situation? You guys have been through it 2 times before.
Yeah, no, definitely having guys who have experience in the play-in definitely helps. Having a couple guys we can lean on. Coaching staff's been through it, so it's no unfamiliar territory for us.
What's it like going against Tyson Daniels? He seems kind of like a pain in the ass to get guarded by.
Yeah, he's a active, lengthy defender, sure.
Or is this just about you all's disposition coming out the same way you did against Chicago?
We would love to have that same energy and intensity as we did in the Chicago game. So, it's going to be a hard-fought game. Looking forward to the challenge. Like I said before, it's win or go home.
What's the key component about the appropriate intensity on Young defensively, but making sure their X factors don't have easy opportunities to get off?
Yeah, understand that he's the head of the snake. So for that, making him take difficult shots, not letting him get in your head when he gets the foul baiting going, and then other than that, try to wipe out the X factors.
Erik Spoelstra was talking about how this group is really.
You won't want to say that.
I know, but then you inspired me. Spo was just talking about how this group has really come together. A lot of times you make a major trade, different guys are injected in, there's not necessarily the chemistry. What's it been like since the trade, working in the new guys and still finding a way to come together?
We got a great group as far as personality and obviously buying into what we're preaching. So it's easier to get guys to buy in when it comes to that point.
How do you feel like those 3 guys have fit in, just with their approach to the game and just their style of play?
All our impacts are different. Obviously, you see what Davion does. I feel like Kyle is one of those guys. You look at the stat sheet, he's more impactful than that. And then obviously Wig, he's a champion. He's been an all-star starter. So you understand where the different degrees of where they come from.
Things that you have to do against Atlanta that's any different, or because they're in division and they've played them so much, you know what it is about your disposition?
It's all of those factors, but certainly this is it's going to be a competitive will type game. And say it all the time, but whoever's going to be able to impose that will more consistently on the other team. Whose game can get to whose game. They did it for 2 games here in their place. We did it in our 2 games at home. That's why this is set up to be an extremely competitive game.
What's the balance when you're playing this team, when you want to put so much attention on Young to disrupt that on the offensive end, but maintaining the appropriate attention to everybody else?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most underrated aspects of their team is they have a bunch of X factors. Those guys have a massive impact, on their scoring. The number 1 scoring team. You have to deal with Trae Young and all of his triggers and the things that he can do to compromise your defense. But you have Ricochet, who can score 38 points in a game without running a single play for him. It's just sprinting in transition, catching lobs, back cutting, offensive rebounding. Daniels is a big X factor. And then their bench, with Mann and Levert and Yang, those guys, can really make an impact. So, all the way through, you got to treat everybody with respect. And our guys understand that. We've been humbled by them twice. We respect their firepower, and we know we're going to have to do some very, tough things, a lot of multiple effort type things to be able to keep that team down.
You've seen the growth in your big man. Your thoughts on what Reese Shea and how he's grown from day one now to this play-in level?
Yeah, I think their system really fits his skill set. He's a great off-the-ball player. He's really good in transition. He runs to the rim. There's a lot of guys in this league that don't do that anymore. A lot of guys run to the three-point line. He runs to the rim. He's a great cutter. He knows how to generate actions in these plays in between that are kind of unscripted. That's a notable skill set that he has, and I think he's just gained confidence. With the weeks and since the trade, he's gotten more opportunities.
You've spoken almost since the trade deadline how much you enjoy this group, sort of a special group, and the relationship you've had. I would assume most coaches say that about their teams, at least publicly, because you wouldn't say otherwise. But this seems to be very genuine and heartfelt. What is it about this group that you sort of have bonded to and makes you believe it's so special?
I've really respected and admired how this group has handled adversity collectively, together, all of us, the coaching staff, the players, and all the different departments. When you're able to do that and embrace it, the lessons that you can get from it, it's one of these things that like puts an imprint, on everybody, because I think it's just too easy in today's day and age and in professional sports to face a little adversity and you crumble. You see more often that happen than this, and it's just a group that really has wanted to find a way to conquer these things and find a way to get better, find a way to help each other play better. These are kind of groups that you really want to do your best for.
Regarding the collective, what do you think Kyle, Davion, Wiggs, what they've infused into this roster and kind of how they fit in?
Yeah, they fit in very well because they're just what I was saying. They want to make it work. They're winning players, winning personalities, and they each bring something a little bit different, which are things that we needed. Davion, that defensive presence and toughness and his passion. We love the passion that he brings to the games. Wiggs is just a very good basketball player. The things that he does, leads to winning because he plays both sides of the floor. He takes pride in doing that and doing it at a high level. And then Kyle just takes a while to get accustomed to, how he plays. But, that game he had the other night is kind of an epitome of what he does. It just impacts winning, whether it's stats or not.
Where do we stand with Hella? I know they said he was available the other day. Obviously, things are working. You're not going to force him in, but where does that stand?
Each day is better. He had a great day, full contact yesterday. So he'll be available again, and I think he's further along than he was 48 hours ago.
Nico not as far along?
Pretty close. I'm anticipating he'll suit up tonight too, because he just wants to be there. Everything's part of that personality. Guys just want to be out there. He's checking all the boxes. He's getting really close. I don't know if he'll be fully cleared, for tonight, but maybe I'll use him as an inbounder.